Hold on one second, don't go anywhere. You can keep these lovely ladies. You know, you're all making me want to really work out right about now. I'm gonna go home and I'm gonna eat kale. And I'm gonna do sit-ups, crunches, whatever it takes. Ladies, you look lovely. Give a round of applause. Let me tell you something. This looks like the real deal to me. I don't know about the rest of you out there, but we got some talent in Bermuda. Khalida, tell me, what was it like being a part of this program?
This was absolutely amazing. I mean, for me, you know, all of it was just, oh, maybe I'll do this and maybe I'll do that. I'll have a little bit of fun along the way. And I got a little caught up. I think the people living in my house could tell you, maybe they don't want to say, but it was a bit much.
How long did it take for you to complete these costumes?
In total, from conception through to completion, it's been about 130 hours.
And what made you come up with the idea of cerulean seas?
I think for me, you know, you look around Bermuda and there's a lot that we take for granted. You know, no matter where you go, you cannot escape the sea. Whether you're a Bermudian and you've lived here your whole life, or whether you're a tourist and you're coming, everywhere you look, the ocean is right there. And you know, I posted an album on my Facebook page 10 years ago. And it was mostly for my friends overseas to give them a view of what Bermuda and what life is like here. And when I look back at that album, I only had maybe a dozen photos, but 10 out of the 12 had the sea in it. I said, this is it. I'm gonna go with this. And the fact that it has all the blues that I absolutely love, that was just a winner for me.
So my question is, I mean, where are you working now, honey? I'm just saying, because you know, I'm not, look, I know your boss is probably in the audience. No, that was no boss. She's oh, he's not here. Okay, no boss. So then I'm going to ask the question again. Do you see yourself moving forward with stuff like this in the future?
Maybe I have to tell you that afterwards. I don't know if my husband wants to hear, but maybe.
I see entrepreneurship coming. Yes, give her a round of applause, guys. Thank you so much. Khalida Cook, Cerulean Seas. Coming up next, guys, we have, you notice I got the glasses back on. Thank you, Minister. Creativity is expressed in many ways and means. The poets write their idea. The writer of prose and novel express their words and plots their creativity. Whilst others may see a starlit night, the creative person may see millions of jewels resting on a canopy of black velvet. You see that creative mind? We whom call ourselves creative are all gifted in one way or many ways. We are driven to draw, design, recycle, reuse, and explore ways to release the ideas that make us truly creative. Kimberly Robinson is not a writer, nor a classic artist. She's not a singer or a poet, but the creative gene is intricately and essentially a part of her. She has experience in balloon, floral design, seasonal baskets, jewelry making, and feathering and gemming. Over the years, she has the experience of working in costume production. She was introduced to Carnival as a young child by attending the 24th of May parade from watching Choi Ming and his team of designers, come on now, present their version of pageantry. Do you remember way back then? Come on. The wide diversity and presentation of the costumes and the music got her hooked, as it did probably all of us. Kim believes that we are, as proud Bermudians, are extremely and highly talented. But guess what? We don't always get the necessary quality and exposure that is needed to push us and advance us to the next level of greatness. But today, you see we're getting it. Now coming up next, we have King Neptune. Originally the figurehead of the steam-assisted battleship, the HMS Irresistible, commissioned in 1861. The statue of King Neptune became a fixture of Bermuda's maritime history when the HMS Irresistible was no longer viable for service in the North Atlantic. The statue of King Neptune was installed at Admiralty House until the instruction of the Maritime Museum at Dockyard, where a stone replica of the original wooden figurehead now stands. He stands resplendent in his seafaring crown and formidable trident, a fitting reminder of Bermuda's seafaring history and culture. He represents all that we are, from our pink sands and blue waters to a mix of many cultures that contribute to which is uniquely Bermuda. Based on this iconic figure and all that embodies of Bermudian culture, from our seafaring legacy to our cod, fish, and potato breakfast. Can I get an amen? What you like it with? I like it with butter. So, I'm sorry. Hail to King Neptune, designed by Kimberly Robinson of Carnival Savages Design. Put your hands together for King Neptune.
She from the exoquit. Make your bum do that. Run for the punch shake it. Festa. She from the exoquit. Make your bum do that. Run for the punch shake it. Balance it, girl, just balance it. Big bumper, girl, no one can manage it. Shake the thing, girl, and ready to make money right size. Festa. She from the exoquit. Make your bum do that. Run for the punch shake it. Festa. She from the exoquit. Make your bum do that. Run for the punch shake it. Where's for me, girl, baby, where's for me? Then your knees put the arch in your back for me. Take your time, girl, slow mo that for me. The thing sweet, girl, love it like mommy. You got the password for the Wi-Fi. Muscle grip it real good with your tight. Skirt, you look right. Girl, make come back where you are the right size. Festa. She from the exoquit. Make your bum do that. Run for the punch shake it. Festa. Bad girl, back it up when you wine on this. You don't tick tock when you wine on this. Push your right back when you wine on. Make your fat body clap when you wine on this. Long back and long back when you wine on. Give me the wrong hook when you wine on. If you make your one when you wine on. Make the thing warm up when you wine on. I lick up. Press that gas when you wine in me. I lick up. The girl comes from the wine pan Snapchat, but me want see the wine in a real life. Say that be key if you want to, but you must can't wait for me to wine to. Make sure you just see in a good shape, and me come if you wine in a look back and bend over when you wine pan. Give me the roll up when you wine pan. Be like you want when you wine pan. Make the thing warm up when you wine on.
All right, Kimberly, how you doing? So tell me about your experience in the apprenticeship program.
Well, I have been doing costumes with Nova for the last, 3 years. So I wanted to expand myself to learn more of the culture of doing costumes, and so when I had the opportunity of doing it, it's okay. I know I want to run with it.
So you're ready. You're ready for this.
Yes.
And can't you tell? Like, look at this. Look at this. So I know it was King Neptune, right? So tell me a little bit about that.
The King Neptune statue, it was actually was from a steamship that was coming back and forth to Bermuda.
So what made you what made you choose that?
Because it's one of our iconic statues in Bermuda, and it's somewhere where most of the time all our tourists come. So that's as soon as you go into dockyard, basically that's what you see. So I did it based on that.
Would you encourage someone else to get involved in this program?
Yes, I would. It's challenging, but if you have the will and the will to do it, I say go with it.
Well, congratulations. You've done a phenomenal job. One more time for Kimberly Robinson and King Neptune.
Instagram that, with the IG story. I want you win and go down.
How many of you know about James Lee? James Lee has been designing locally and internationally through his brand Exotic Design since 2012. He started the bear cat bikinis and later expanded into swimwear. He is now designing sporty formal athleisure wear. He has been featured in a photography blog, online magazines, Bermuda Society of Arts, and Bermuda Fashion Festival. Your Day, Your Way Fashion Show Toronto, Montreal, Caribbean Fashion Week, Quebec, Runway for Hope, Ottawa, and Le Coiffeur Style, The Runway, NYC. He has worked in the local carnival design and production scene for the past 2 years, working with various bands and designers. He even created a design, which was launched in January 2018. Invaders. From the time of the first settlers came to Bermuda, we were known as the Devil's Isles because of our turbulent seas, coral reefs, and the strange sounds that came from the creatures in our small island home. In present-day Bermuda, we are now known for our beautiful blue skies, turquoise waters, pink sand, and majestic coral reefs. Over time, these protective reefs have now become threatened by one of our fellow Caribbean friends, the invaders. From the West Indies, they have traveled far along the warm, churned waters through the treacherous currents of the Bermuda Triangle, riding the hurricanes like a vessel to our peaceful waters. In our waters, they thrive like kings, and it's true by their name. They are kings, not only of the African savanna kind, but also of the aquatic kind in our waters and many others. These invaders, you know by another name. They are called Lionfish King Invaders of our waters. That sounds like a movie, innit? Beautiful and majestic as they may appear alongside our vibrant coral reefs, do not be fooled. This poisonous and invasive species of fish has no predictor and fears nothing, and its diet and appetite. Presenting now, Invaders.
One big girl's name is a snack pack. Is a scene every carnival, and it's that. It's a different kind of vibe. You see the girl them a wine and bubble all night in a different kind of style. See the girl them a wine and bubble all night, tell me oh my. See the girl them a wine and bubble all night, tell me oh my. In 4, 3, 2, real girl whining, real woman whining, real girl whining, real woman whining, real girl whining, real woman whining. It's a scene, real girl whining, real woman whining, real girl whining, real woman whining, real girl whining, real woman whining. It's a yeah. And the boss a sweat, soaking wet, wine with no regret. It's a jam, woman find a man, and if he can handle the pace, then it's on to the next one. And it's that, it's a different kind of vibe. To see the girl them a wine and bubble all night in a different kind of style. See the girl them a wine and bubble all night, tell me oh my. See the girl them a wine and bubble all night, tell me oh my. In 4, 3, 2, real girl whining, real woman whining, real girl whining, real woman whining, real girl whining, real woman whining. It's a scene, real girl whining, real woman whining, real girl whining, real woman whining, real girl whining, real woman whining. It's a scene, it's a snack, it's a something fat, strictly facts, from front or the back. One big girl's name.
Give me some.
It's a
Give me some.
snack.
Give me some.
It's a
Give me some.
scene.
Give me some. Give me some.
One more time for James Lee.
Give me some. Give me some. Give me some. Give me some. Give me some.
James, you've been designing for many, many years. What made you enter the designer apprenticeship program?
I've been helping out with Carnival for the past 2 years doing costumes, and I was like, I could totally get into this from start to finish.
So you talked about your feather work, and I gotta tell guys, look at this. I know I'm in the way, I'm sorry. That is some awesome, tell me about this.
Okay, so from start to finish, I did the wiring, the feathering, the jeweling, the whole 9 yards, the swimsuit, the sewing. The concept, I wanted to do the lionfish, but I didn't want to do the typical lionfish that people do for Carnival, which is like fabric, flowy, the black and white kind of theme. So I kind of went for a more festive, colorful vibe, throwing in some oranges, some pinks and yellows. Glitter, you gotta have some sparkle in here. And on a budget, you gotta make it work, right? So as far as the outfit went, I wanted to keep a lot of the flair that's in a lionfish because it's a very vibrant and it's got a lot of like wings and tips going on. So putting it all together. And on the guy, you just want to keep it more simple. A lot of guys don't like a lot of feathers, so we went for a more clean look, a little mohawk. Guys like mohawks, you know, keep it kind of military. Yeah.
What's your theme? Okay, the Lionfish, Invaders. Actually, I loved. Did you all enjoy listening to that read? That was really exciting. I felt like I was reading for a movie. That story. So tell me, what made you decide to choose the Lionfish and Invaders?
I think I chose the Lionfish because it's not typically related to Bermuda, but it's definitely become part of Bermuda. Like, people are catching them and eating them now. It's like an annual thing, so it's new. And all of us here in the audience technically are invaders to the island of Bermuda. No one was naturally from Bermuda. So as a whole, we are the invaders, and now they're the new invaders. So that's where the concept came from.
Now, it might be somebody out here that wants to participate in this next year. What advice would you give to them?
Go in full force. If you can do it from start to finish, do it from start to finish. If you need the support, there's support on the island, but if you want to get stuff done away on a lower budget, go for it.
Thank you so much. James Lee. Invaders. Invaders. Moving along with the program, Monique Stevens. Local designer Monique, and is it Ishan? Did I get that correct? Ishan? There we go, thank you very much. Suzette Stevens has been creating fashion pieces for a few years now. Her middle names is where her designer name, Ishan, there we go. Ishan, S, derived from. What brings her to this moment and opportunity is her love for fashion design and soca. She's been inspired to design clothing since she was a young girl, watching her mom and grandmother sew. She says that this entire process she has surely appreciated when it comes to understanding the production of a costume now. This is a completely new platform for her. She has had to learn how new techniques and methods of design, which has been an amazing self-transformation. Femina. The long tail is a tropic seabird, not indigenous but native to Bermuda, yet considered a national symbol by locals. It is one of the most beautiful features to adorn Bermuda's coastline during the summer months as they search for a place to nest their single purplish red speckled egg along the cliffs. Combined with their aerial courtship display, which involves touching the tips of the long tail feathers together in a paired flight, they are very noticeable and memorable to spectate. Now presenting Femina, designed by Monique Stevens of Ishan S. Put your hands together.
Come up, come up. Can you off the wine them talking about? Boy, you're trending. You're trending. Boy, get it all over the timeline right now. Boy, you're trending. Girl, you're trending. Boy, anytime your bumper start rolling, all the man them doing is drooling. Push back the thing, control it. It's trouble when you start trolling. Have mercy where you get that way. Just wind up, wind up, wind up, wind up, wind up, wind up.
Like you're coming here with your whole team. All your belly fit in the one car. Girl, you back your waist up early. And I cannot wait to jump on your bumper.
Hello, Monique, how you doing?
I'm fine, thanks.
So tell me about this experience in the apprenticeship.
It's been totally different for me as a designer because this is my first time doing a carnival costume. So it takes you in a totally different element of design. So I like the experience. It was a bit stressful, but I made it through.
So how long does it take to actually create a costume like this?
This took about a week.
Nice. So what advice would you give to somebody that's interested in doing this next year?
I would say do your research. definitely get as much ideas as you possibly can, and collaborate those ideas with different designers as well as your own concept.
And speaking of concept, yours was Femina, right? So tell us about how you decided to use that concept.
My inspiration was the long tail being free. I guess you could say feminist. So I am very much into the woman, empowerment and all that sort of thing. So I just wanted it to be as crisp as possible, just something fresh.
Well, congratulations, and that's a beautiful costume. Let's hear it again one more time from Monique Stevens, from Femina. Barbie has been a soca fan since she was too young to go into a Byron Lee show. Go figure. However, since BHW, she has started in Bermuda. She has become more and more interested in not only designing and creating these costumes, but to learn how it all works behind the scenes. Attending BHW panels, taking apart costumes to see how hard it is to create. How many of you take apart your costumes? Barbie dolls. Watching others already involved via social media just inspires her. Every year BHW comes around, every time BHW comes around, the passion for it rises. She has already started to create custom pieces for individuals for BHW for the past 4 years. This experience has been exciting and educational. In the creative world, there is always something to learn. Given the opportunity to take part in the workshops, brought knowledge of the history of Carnival, which explains the background visions of a costume from phase 1 through to phase 3. Has been overwhelming mentally, but the joy of creating and bringing something to life finally has been the most satisfying experience for her. Devil's Isle. According to mythological accounts, a huge dragon inhabited the area of sea that was deemed the Devil's Isles, aka the Bermuda Triangle. How many of you know about that? And lay in wait for any vessel to pass. The dragon, with insatiable hunger, would drag any boat that crossed its path into the sea, never to be seen again. Now we present Devil's Isle, designed by Barbie painter, Exposed? Did I get that right? Designs. Once again, put your hands together for Devil's Isle.
The way that you whine and jiggle it, bend over, practice for the work, gal race, position, gymnast, in front the mirror, gal take a flick, turn around, look back, take a flick, whining skill, show them you have it, you master all of the tricks, drop down flat and make your body split, tick tock, how are you tick tock, wine to the bass song, keep whining your waist song, bend over, practice for the work, gal race, position, gymnast, love the way that you whine and jiggle it. Bend over, practice for the work, gal race, position, gymnast, in front the mirror, gal take a flick. Your body keep getting wetter, got me feeling like the ocean, under the wave now. No time to be here now. It's time to go brave now. Wine to the bass song. Wine to the bass song. Keep whining your waist song. Over, practice for the work. Gal race, position, gymnast. Love the way that you whine and jiggle it. Over, practice for the work. Gal race, position, gymnast.
Girl, I want your bam bam whining again. Girl, I want your bam bam jiggling again. Some of them I say they don't want it, yeah. Some of them I say they can't take it. Girl, I want your bam bam whining again. Girl, I want your bam bam jiggling again, yeah. Some of them I say they don't want it, and some of them I say they can't take it. Live a smooth up in your waistline, girl. Do a wine, do a wine, do a wine, girl. Live a sweet up in your waistline, girl. Do a wine, do a wine, do a wine, girl. Touch down, girl. Touch it down, girl. Rock down, girl. Rock it down, girl. Lock down, girl. Lock it down, and do a wine, do a wine, do a wine. 'Cause it's suitcase, suitcase. Suke. Say suke this, suke that, suke that. Pass it low, make it shake. Pass it low, make it shake. Pass it low, make it shake. Pass it low, make it shake.
Barbie Painter, Devil's Ayo. How you doing? Oh, look, you're running from me? Bobby, I've seen you do bow ties. I've seen you do hair. What else have I seen you do? Pretty much everything. And today I'm seeing you do this. What was your experience like?
It was a good experience. It's been a long journey for me since BHW came to Bermuda 5 years ago. It's become a passion for me to get into this. The past 8 months has been nerve-wracking, mind-boggling because it's not easy, but exciting at the same time to be able to produce something like this. So, but I don't know if it makes a difference. I had a little hiccup with my original stuff didn't make it to Bermuda. So this was produced within a week. So.
And you know what? As a designer, as you see on the TV shows, right? What do you have to do? You have to improvise and make it work. And Barbie, you've just made it work. Because guess what? I was here sitting there like, oh, wow, I like the little animal print stuff. And then she whispered to me in the chair, oh, well, something happened with her. And I'm like, really? Because can you tell? Yeah. Barbie. So tell me about Devil's Isle. What made you come up with that concept?
Well, originally when we got the theme, Bermuda, Another World, what my thoughts went to was, how does a tourist view Bermuda? And tourists always come to Bermuda because of the water. And I always knew that people call Bermuda Devil's Isle. So I looked into what Devil's Isle actually meant. And it is in referring to some sea monster underneath the water. So these are basically underwater goddesses. I wasn't able to do my male, but it was a god and a goddess from under the water.
So do you think in the future we're going to see you designing more carnival outfits?
That's the plan.
You're gonna make me eat some kale so I can fit into one of those things? I'm just saying. Also, what advice would you give to someone? Because I want to know, what advice would you give to somebody that wants to do this next year?
Well, for me, it's always dedication. You have to be dedicated to your passion. And because it became a passion, that's what brought what you see now. If it's something that you really, really want to do, you just don't. Because I've had a lot of naysayers, but the naysayers don't stop me. So that's about it to me. If you're dedicated to what you want to do, then what you do comes to fruit. So.
Because it's been ever since you couldn't get into the Byron Lee concept, because I read your profile. Let's give her another round of applause, guys. Barbie Painter, Devil's Ayo.